You might have noticed that nowadays video games are taking forever to make, and when they finally do come out, they might still be undercooked. The bar we have set for video games to have in terms of graphics has been set super high. To reach that bar, a lot more resources have to be spent than before, and what often happens is that gameplay and story almost feel like an afterthought. What could be the answer to this? Bring the bar back down! Hey! Bring the bar back down. Let's start making games with bad graphics again. In fact, a lot of developers have been making pixelated games for ages. It's almost a joke how many of them come out every year. There's clearly a market for games that look retro, but play like a modern game. In this video I'm gonna explain why older graphics in 3D games not only make the games feel more whole, but also aesthetically better.
Running from those flashing lights. Baby, life like it's no damn rules. Tonight I'm finna hop up in that hotel pool. Got your hair white dress, you gon' hop in too and get everything that being in the top includes. What's your friends?
This is why the low-res textures and the models with dozen polygons capture something games with modern graphics just can't. A lot of people, myself included, clearly find this calming or eerie, somewhere in between. The atmosphere also has completely different feel. I can't put my finger on why, but I don't need to explain it, because we can all feel it. For example, the atmosphere in older Minecraft is much moodier, lonelier and eerier. But as they added more to the game, it went away. Especially the addition of villagers and changes to the fog, which pushed it away, which made it easier to see your surroundings. I'm sure we have all watched those videos where an old game has been modded to look modern. Even though those videos can get millions of views, you rarely see anyone actually use them. Just take a quick look on YouTube or Twitch and you'll see what I mean. People are simply curious of what the modding scene looks like. But there are also people that don't like these graphics. I do agree that they look at times worse, like especially the 90s graphics in 3D games. But when you compare it to the 2000s, the upgrade is notable. Also, after playing the game for a while, you do get used to it. And the best part is going back to a game with good graphics and you just have like this newfound appreciation towards it, instead of taking it for granted. This whole idea, in my opinion, is still a net positive. And for the people that say that, these games will look worse than they did back then, because now we all play with higher resolutions and that will expose more of the imperfections. Yeah, those people are right, but 2D pixel games only look good on CRT TVs, yet most people play the games on like high resolution screens anyway. Again, they're used to it. This is why I think that they should add like a CRT TV filter built into the game that you can toggle on and off. Okay, another thing I wanna point out. Yes, I'm aware that making 3D games is on its league of its own compared to making 2D games. I think we can all figure out why. I'm not saying 2D games are worse. I just wanna point out that not enough developers are making 3D games with retro style, okay? And the bigger game companies on the other hand don't want to downgrade their graphics, because the graphics hold a very big part in the promotion. And honestly, I don't think it would be a good idea for them, because then they would have to reduce their staff. But I do have a solution for this. Big publishers should create new smaller studios and make them work on these retro games. It's almost like in sports where players play in the youth team first, and if they're good enough they will get into the senior team. In other words, these small projects can be a way to discover new talent for the main studio. But there's more to it. When you make the graphics worse, it leaves more resources to do other stuff that makes the game deeper. For example, making a bigger variety of cars and NPCs, with a lot more enterable buildings, bigger maps, real-time destruction, and dynamic world that reacts to everything the player does, and where the NPCs have a routine and a unique personality. Wow. And where you can talk to every NPC. At the end of the day, depth of a game is what makes people wanna keep playing it, and those games usually do the best. Look at Terraria, Football Manager or RimWorld for example. If you played these games and see a lot about them, you are probably used to their graphics, but the first time I saw the RimWorld trailer, or when I played FN20, my reaction was, come on, is this the best you can do? But they eventually grew on me, and I saw past the surface. I can't remember what I thought of Terraria's graphics when I first saw the gameplay, other than it's clearly a Minecraft clone. Or even if you don't use the additional resources, it will still catch a bigger market than a AAA game, because then the people with bad specs can play it as well. The development time of video games would also greatly reduce. I don't have any proof other than this chart of how often video games would get sequels. But I think in an age where there are so many games coming out, especially indie games, it has been harder than ever to stand out. I really think that making a game with this type of style can really set you apart, especially if it's a city open world, which doesn't even have to be that huge, because a lot of people, myself included, can't get enough of them. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about this time.